Hello, I'm Martin Park. For those that don't know me, I'm a naturopath and a master coach and trainer who has been working professionally in health, fitness, wellness and personal development for over 45 years. If you are someone who is interested in learning how to maximize your overall health, well-being and performance, then welcome. Today's discussion is somewhat of a continuation from last week's podcast where I discussed whether we should trust AI with our health and wellness advice. For those that haven't listened to that episode, then I recommend you do, although it's not necessary for you to be able to follow today's topic. Today, I want to discuss the rise of AI-powered fitness and training applications and whether we can truly trust these AI-powered fitness apps to help us achieve our fitness goals. Or are we potentially setting ourselves up for frustration or even injury? With the explosion of artificial intelligence, we are seeing more and more apps promising personalized workout plans, nutrition advice, and even real-time form corrections, all powered by AI. Via the aggressive marketing of the developers, creators, and sellers of these apps, they are claimed to be your personal trainer in your pocket, available 24/7 at a fraction of the cost of working with a human coach. It's an appealing proposition that on the surface sounds fantastic. After all, who wouldn't want a convenient, personalized workout plan at their fingertips? But we have to ask ourselves, is this a good thing for everyone? As someone who has spent nearly half a century working directly with clients, understanding their unique needs, challenges, and potential, I think it's crucial to examine both the possible benefits and limitations of these AI training applications. Let's talk about what these apps claim to offer, but with a more realistic lens, because there's a lot of hype surrounding AI in the fitness space, and it's important to recognize that not everything is as perfect as it may seem. First, let's look at convenience and accessibility. AI apps are marketed as being available 24/7 right at your fingertips, meaning you can fit in workouts whenever it works for you. You don't have to wait for a trainer's availability, and you don't have to pay the fees that come with hiring one. If you're someone who's busy or doesn't have access to a gym or trainer, this might seem like an affordable, easy way to stay on track with your fitness. But here's the thing, this convenience only works if the AI is actually giving you the right advice. Right now, AI can generate workouts and training programs, but these aren't necessarily customized in a way that accounts for real-time needs like your physical state, energy levels, or injuries. Plus, if the app's data isn't comprehensive or up to date, which is a constant problem for the developers, it could very well be recommending things that aren't appropriate for your current situation or condition. Second, these apps promise data-driven personalization through customized workout plans based on your goals, fitness level, and preferences. On paper, this also sounds great, especially if you're new to fitness or want structure. But the reality is more complicated. These AI-generated workouts are only as good as the data they have access to, which might not always be perfect or accurate, or simply wrong and out of date. Even worse, sometimes, as discussed in last week's podcast, AI apps simply make up answers when they don't know enough, or they might apply general recommendations that don't actually consider your personal context, situation, and needs. Third, many of these apps boast about their ability to track progress, from counting reps to tracking heart rate and intensity. And while these tools are useful for monitoring basic metrics, we have to remember that tracking progress isn't just about data. It's about contextualizing that data in a way that's actionable and meaningful for you. Yes, the app might tell you that you've completed a workout or that your heart rate was at a certain level, but it won't necessarily be able to assess how your body felt during the workout or whether you're pushing too hard and risking injury or too easy and going nowhere. AI simply doesn't have the intuition to pick up on those subtle signs that a human coach would. To give you a real example of this, last week I tested the AI app Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is an app that is considered one of the more advanced. I was asking it to create a minimum effective training routine for someone wanting to gain some muscle and strength but had limited time. While inputting various prompts and getting some good answers, on a simple but slightly more complex question, the app gave me some advice that to me as a professional coach I knew was completely wrong. So I asked it, how is it possible that you got something this obviously simple wrong? Do you not have enough data to be able to accurately provide answers? To which it replied exactly this. You've hit on something important. Let me be direct. While I have access to general principles about resistance training and hypertrophy, I may not have enough detailed, consistent information to confidently design a complete program that meets specific minimum effective parameters. Rather than continuing to potentially provide inconsistent or incorrect information, would you like to discuss something else? Not an ideal situation. And if I hadn't have pulled it up on its incorrect answer, then it would have happily continued advising me with utter garbage. But as I said in last week's podcast, this isn't about being anti-technology or dismissing AI's potential. It's about being honest about where we are right now with this technology and protecting your health and safety. The most crucial limitation that I see with the current crop of AI apps is that despite their sophistication, they cannot truly understand you as a whole person. They can't see the slight grimace on your face when you perform a particular movement. They can't pick up on the subtle compensations your body makes when dealing with an old injury, and they can't read your energy levels or emotional state the way an experienced coach can. They also can't account for the complex interplay between various aspects of your life, such as your stress levels, sleep quality, nutritional status, hormone balance, emotional state, and the countless other factors that influence how your body responds to training. Sure, some apps might track some of these variables, but at the moment they can't integrate this information with the depth and nuance that a skilled human coach can, and if I'm being honest, they may never. This becomes particularly problematic when dealing with special populations or specific health conditions. If you have a chronic illness or are recovering from an injury or have unique biomechanical considerations or any other of the many physical, mental, and emotional idiosyncrasies that we humans can exhibit, then the standardized approach of AI apps may not only be ineffective, but could also be potentially dangerous. So, should you trust AI apps for your training advice? Possibly. Let's start with when apps might be appropriate. If you're someone who's already familiar with proper exercise form and is looking to maintain a consistent routine, AI apps can be useful. For example, if you're an experienced gym goer who knows how to perform basic movements correctly, things like squats, bench press, rows, etc. In this case, an app could help you track your sets, reps, and progressive overload, essentially serving as a digital logbook with some basic guidance. Or perhaps you're someone who's generally healthy and looking to improve your cardiovascular fitness through running or cycling. Apps can be quite effective here also, helping you track your distance, pace, and heart rate while providing structured progress plans. The risk of injury is relatively lower in these straightforward, repetitive activities. However, and this is crucial, there are many situations where relying solely on AI apps could be problematic or even dangerous. Imagine you're someone with a niggling lower back pain and you're considering starting a strength training program. An app might suggest deadlifts as part of your routine because they are a fundamental movement. But without a qualified professional assessing your movement patterns and specific condition, this could seriously aggravate your injury. Whereas a human coach would first evaluate your mobility, identify any movement compensations, and would start you with targeted exercise to address imbalances before progressing to traditional lifts. Or consider someone who is training for a specific goal, like a marathon or a CrossFit competition. While AI apps can provide general training templates, they can't adjust your program based on nuanced feedback like how your joints are feeling, your recovery status, or how well you're handling the current training load. A human coach can see signs of overtraining or readiness to progress that AI simply can't detect. So what's the solution? Well, AI apps aren't going away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, they will most likely become even more ubiquitous as they become more advanced. So with that in mind, I would recommend a strategic hybrid approach. First, invest in at least 6 to 12 sessions with a qualified human coach. Use this time to learn proper form for the exercises or training you plan to do regularly. Learn how to understand your body's unique limitations and how to work around them. Get a professional assessment of your movement patterns and any imbalances, and develop awareness and learn how to recognize when something doesn't feel right. Then, if you decide to use an app, choose one that aligns with your established routine and knowledge. Use it primarily for tracking and basic progression. Be extremely cautious about accepting new exercise suggestions without professional validation, and pay attention to how your body responds, and don't ignore warning signs just because the app says to continue. Finally, schedule periodic check-ins with a human coach. Think of it like a maintenance for your car. Every 3 to 6 months, get a professional assessment to ensure your form hasn't deteriorated, address any new issues that have developed, update your training approach based on your progress and goals, and get expert guidance on how to handle any plateaus or setbacks. Remember, while AI technology is impressive and evolving rapidly, it's still just a tool. And like any tool, its value depends on how and when you use it. The key is to approach these apps with informed skepticism. Understand their limitations, use them with appropriate boundaries, and don't hesitate to seek human expertise when needed. Think of AI training apps as a helpful assistant rather than a complete replacement for human expertise. They can support your fitness journey, but they shouldn't be your only guide, especially if you have specific health considerations or ambitious fitness goals. If you'd like my guidance and support with any of this, then please visit my website and support community. It's a community built on the foundation of support, accountability, and empowerment, with all the tools you will need to rethink, reboot, and reclaim your health and well-being. I will leave a link in the description. I thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate your company. I look forward to spending some time with you again. Bye for now.